to start off by showing you two separate videos and then I'll come back and talk with you.
Odd that you will have people who are in violation of our laws being in this country illegally, and they are protesting and even taking it beyond that because the federal government's actually just trying to enforce the law. And they're even burning American flags, which is the country they supposedly want to stay in, yet they're waving flags of foreign countries, which is the countries they refuse to return to. So this is really just an upside down world. But part of the reason they're doing this reaction is because I think in places like California, which are sanctuary states, they've developed almost like a sense of entitlement to just ignore federal immigration laws. They put illegal aliens on healthcare programs, give them driver's license. They basically have welcomed people to come into California illegally over many, many years. And that was all in violation of federal law. So President Trump and Tom Homan, they're doing what they were elected to do, which is to enforce the laws of the land. And I think that they're right to be able to have National Guard protect these federal law enforcement personnel who are coming under attack, protect the installations that are coming under attack. And yes, there is a point where the mayor of Los Angeles fails, the governor fails. So the president not only has a right, he has a duty to protect the American people when the state and local officials won't do that.
The chief scribes and religious leaders were determined to kill Jesus, so they stirred up the crowd. Mark chapter 15, verse 11. Here we have a clue as to the nature of most riots. Many of those in the crowd had seen Jesus' miracles, heard him teaching in their synagogues, and may have even been healed by him. Yet, under the influence of impassioned leaders, they quickly turned against him. The same people who had shouted, "Hosanna, Hosanna," only days before, Mark chapter 11, verses 9 through 10, now shouted, "Crucify him," Mark chapter 15, verses 13 and 14. Most riots begin with an instigator, someone with an agenda. Riots may appear to be spontaneous outbursts of unified outrage, but closer investigation usually reveals people behind the scenes stirring up the passions of the crowd. Those who expect to benefit from the riot may use inflammatory speech, exaggerated details, and the cooperation of a few colleagues to make the riot seem spontaneous. In other words, those who incite riots today use the same tactics that the scribes and Pharisees used in Jesus' day. People caught up in the fever of the moment don't realize that they are being used. They have been manipulated into believing they are making a righteous point by pillaging and indiscriminately destroying the property of others. Social pressure is a powerful motivator, and when everyone around us is inflamed with fury, shouting opinions and slogans demanding change, it's easy to be swept along with the crowd. It would be interesting to know how many of those who demanded Jesus' crucifixion later regretted it when passions cooled. We have one glimpse into a possible change of heart in Luke chapter 23, verse 47. A centurion who had helped with Jesus' crucifixion suddenly realized what he had done and said, "Surely this was a righteous man." Rioting is a form of lawlessness, which the Bible condemns. 1 John chapter 3, verse 4. Even if the rioters are seeking to advance a just cause, they are going about it in a sinful way. As the city clerk of Ephesus reminded the rioters in his city, the courts are open, and there are proconsuls. If there is anything further you want to bring up, it must be settled in a legal assembly. Acts chapter 19, verses 38 through 39. To be lawless is to consider oneself an exception to the law, or to act as though there were no law. The lawless think rules don't apply to them, and they become a law unto themselves. That's what happens in a riot. Even normally law-abiding people can become inflamed with fury and self-righteousness and decide that their cause is worth breaking legal, moral, and ethical laws. They may destroy property, hinder transportation, harm innocent bystanders, and tie up law enforcement personnel who could be spending their time on more worthy pursuits. Rioters place themselves and their leaders above the law, and that is sin. Romans chapter 13, verses 1 and 2. Anger, especially when motivated by vengeance or spread by self-seeking rabble-rousers, is never a trustworthy guide. James chapter 1, verse 20. Those who allow themselves to be controlled by it may become foolish participants in ungodly riots.
The reason I chose those two videos to show you is because as Christians, we need to understand what spiritual warfare look like and what spiritual warfare is. In that first video, you can see that these people are rioting, are part of a riot. The riot is not actually benefiting the people that's actually there. I spoke to you before in other videos about agitators, the people on the outside that are agitators, that their job is solely to get you angry, to get you stirred up. And with the second video, you see that that's what happened in Jesus' case. The Pharisees wanted him dead, so they started agitating the crowd, getting the crowd going. And so, like they were saying, he was saying in the video, some of these people interacted with Jesus and knew that he was not guilty of what they were saying he was guilty of. But just being swept up in the crowd, they started chanting against Jesus and they wanted him to be crucified. That's why in the beginning of the year, when Jamal Bryant and Al Sharpton wanted Black people to get out there and march and protest against the DEI program, I was saying, no, don't do it, because it's not going to benefit Black people. It's just going to benefit the people that wants this action to take place. We see that's going on now. And when you stand back and look at what's going on as a Christian, this shows you, kind of gives you a visual that spiritual warfare comes in many different forms, shapes, and fashion. This gives you an idea of how spiritual warfare can work out. The devil thrives on anger. The devil thrives on evil. The devil thrives on anything that opposes God. I did a video about that a while back. I posted up here somewhere where it spoke about how they saw Black anger and how they learned how to harness Black anger in order to push what they wanted. All this Black anger that was out there marching, protesting, did not benefit Black people. It benefited everyone else. So spiritual warfare is real. That's why God always speaks about being loved, being kind, being a good person, praying for your enemies. Because when you feel that way, it helps you get more positive energy, because it's the energy. Anger, love is all energy. God thrives on love. God wants you happy. God wants you successful. God wants you to have a peaceful mind, a restful mind. The devil is the total opposite. He always wants you to be confused. He always wants you to be in a state of anger. He always wants you to be in a state of you feeling like nothing's going right for you, because that's what he thrives off of. So when you show yourself as a kind person, when you show yourself as a loving person, when you speak positivity, it's something that we have to work on. It might not come easy to everyone, because like you might be in the car driving in traffic, and then all of a sudden someone cuts you off. So now you're mad, now you're angry, now you're upset. But as soon as you have a moment to calm down, you think about it, you can say, you know what? That person may not have seen me. That person may have been in a rush. That person may have been going through something. So instead of me just cursing them out, now that I have time to calm down, I'm going to pray for that person. Even though you don't know that person, you might not even know the person in the car, if they're male or female, but God knows who they are. So you say, you know what, I'm just going to say a quick prayer for them and let God deal with that, because I don't know what they're really going through. So once you do that, that takes it away from you. And that also take that anger out of you. So now the devil is not winning. That is one of the points that we need to understand as Christians. Like I said, it's something that I need to work on myself. But that's one of the things that we need to understand. As long as we're trying to do what's right, that's going to make the devil angry. That's going to piss him off. And that's what we need to be happy about. Anytime the devil is mad, that means we're doing the right thing. Anytime the devil is pissed off, we're doing the right thing. And so that means we're winning the spiritual warfare, because he is not getting what he wants. People who manipulate, if they can't manipulate you, they're going to find other people to manipulate. If they can't control you, they will find other people to control. If they can't piss you off, they will find someone else to piss off. So it's up to you and myself, us as individuals, us as Christians, to understand that's part of spiritual warfare. So I just want to come on and share that with you. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe.